Hey everyone, welcome to the Alba Method and day 10 of our 30-day movement challenge. So today's class is all about mobilization and stabilization. We're going to go more into depth later on in the challenge, but today I'm just introducing some hip mobility, knee and ankle mobility, and stabilization exercises to keep us moving safer and more effectively for longer. Today you're just going to need your mat and your body. When you're ready, I'll meet you there. All right, so today we're going to start on our back. So I want you to come onto your back to start. And you have a couple options. You can stay on your back, or you can prop yourself up onto your forearms in order to check out what's happening. But either way, you're going to feel this. If you start to feel a strain in your neck, you can always lay down halfway through. But we want to find some energy through the forearms. And if you're on your back, same thing, just finding some activity through the backs of the arms. Wherever you are, we want to flex the feet. And the reason I like to stay up on my forearms is so I can actually see what's going on, but it's your call. So I want you to pull the belly in, pressing through the forearms, and I'm going to immediately engage my quads and point my toes to the sky, so much so that my heels lift off the ground. And then just keeping that left foot slightly active with the heel on the ground, start to elevate that right heel and pulsing right from the hip. We're going to pulse right from that thigh for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now from here, keeping that foot elevated, just spin so that the inner heel is facing the sky. The toes are pointing out as much as we can. We're rotating all the way into the hip. Same thing from the inner heel, just pulse. 8, 7, keeping this left leg active. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You might feel a little discomfort there as the hip starts to wake up. Start to bend the knee and extend that heel. Good. 2 more. Pull the knee into the chest and extend the heel. 1 more. Pull that knee in and extend the heel. This time, pull the knee in, point the toes. We're going to open that knee like tree. I'm going to keep the inner heel up as much as I can until I extend the leg, pulling that hip back into its neutral position. So pulling the knee in, finding that internal rotation, then finding external rotation through that right hip, extending the toes and pulling it back to center. 4 more together. Starting to find some grace and fluidity, keeping that left leg strong in order to maintain a stable pelvis. Last 3. Trying to keep that toe as close to the inner knee on that opposite leg as possible. Last 2. Don't forget to breathe. And last 1. Good. You're going to pull the knee into the chest as you lay down if you're not already. Good. And then just open it out to the side, up towards that armpit, and now start to press through that left heel so we feel a little stretch, maybe diagonally across the pelvis. Good. Pulling the knee in, back into the chest, and then back out to the side. Good. Extend that right foot and just feel the difference between the right and the left hip. And again, popping and cracking, that's okay as long as it's not sharp shooting pain, but there should be a little bit of discomfort. And then we reset, so you can stay on your back or come back up onto the forearms. Readjust, pushing into the forearms to lift the chest. Start to elevate that left foot. We're just pulsing, little tiny pulses right through the leg. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Spin the heel, and you might notice you have better range of motion through one hip or the other. From the inner heel, pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to center. Pull that knee into the chest and back out. Into the chest and back out. 2 more. Last 1. Hovering that left heel, now pull it in, point the toe, start to open that knee like tree, spinning that leg all the way down and then rotating all the way through the hip. Good. Here's 4, nice and slow and controlled, getting that full rotation in the hip. Good. Last 2. And last 1. Good. Laying down if you aren't already, pulling that left knee into the chest. And then moving it out to the side, up towards that left bicep. Keeping that right leg strong. And to the left, out to the side. Good. Coming back to your center. and release both legs. Feel the difference in the hips. Good. Coming back to center. Pick up that right heel. Now we're going to spin the toes in. And we're just going to pulse that internal rotation. 8, 7. It looks a little weird. It'll feel a little weird, but we're doing something here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release that. Just notice the difference. Same thing. Pick up that left foot. Spin the foot all the way in. Pulse from the outer heel as much as you can. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to center. Good. Prop yourself up to a seat. And now we're going to bend both knees. So I'm going to bring this 90-degree shape with my top foot. So ankle, knee, hip, same thing in the back. And you might need to adjust so that your knee is on the mat. And I'm going to shift forward over this right leg, keeping this left ankle and knee together. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift forward. As I do that, I'm pressing my right knee into the ground, shifting over that right leg. Good. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, shift over that right knee. Keeping that knee driving into the mat, keeping the right foot flexed. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, come over that right leg. Good. Coming back to a neutral position. Now from here, I want you to look back at your left foot and think about driving this left knee into the ground as you pick up your left heel. And you might feel some weirdness through here, but we're activating some new muscles in that area, so it makes sense if it feels awkward or weird. Good. Try it again. And then do it one more time, lifting that heel. Now start to drive the top of that foot in, lift the knee. Good. Pressing down through the knee, lift the heel. So now we connect that movement, pressing through the top edge of the foot, lifting that knee, pressing down through the knee, lift the heel. Good. Again, lifting that knee through the outer knee, driving that left foot into the ground. Now drive the knee into the ground as you lift that left heel. Come back to center, sit up. And now start to lift that left heel or left knee as you start to open that right knee, putting the hands behind you. I'm just going to switch to the back of my mat and we'll switch sides. So my left hip is always tighter than my right. So my left foot is going to be a little bit different. This is going to feel a little bit different for me. Right ankle in line with my right knee, in line with my right hip. So same thing. I'm going to make those little adjustments. I want my belly button to kind of track over this left knee ever so gently, driving that left knee into the ground, using my hands for support to shift over that left leg. Good. Coming back up. Inhale. Exhale. Fold over that left leg just to where you feel that stretch. Nothing forced. And one more time. Inhale. And stretch over that left leg. Good. Coming back up, using those hands for support. Take your gaze back towards that right foot. And now same thing. Driving that left knee into the ground, pick up your right heel. Good. Release the foot and then do it again. Controlling the movement up and controlling the movement down. Do that 2 more times. 1 more. You should feel that. And then we add on. So pressing that heel in, lifting the knee. And I don't want to lean too far back. I want to isolate that movement. So it might just be 1 inch. That's okay. This is why we do this. Lift the heel and then lift the knee, driving that foot into the ground, driving the knee into the ground when we lift the foot. So find that equal and opposite energy through the heel and then through the knee, through that outer hip. 1 more time. Lifting that knee, control the movement down. Now the knee moves out. As we open both knees, try not to lose those hands, and then plant your palms and come into a downward facing dog. And just pedal out those heels. Notice the difference. So good. Lift the heels and lower the heels, bringing some energy to those feet, noticing the difference in the hips, and then bend your knees, just step forward towards the top of your space. So here, we're going to keep the knees nice and bent. Weight is in the heels, and I'm about 2 fist width distances in between my feet. I'm going to find this nice deep squat here, so like a chair pose prep, and then I'm going to bring my hands to my outer knees. So I'm creating this active stretch through the legs. So I'm going to push my hands into my outer knees and then resist that pressure with my hands. And I'm going to hold that, creating some force, creating some action for 7, 6, standing on the feet, sit the hips back, belly pulls in, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then same thing. Hands are going to come to the inner knees. You can also do this with a yoga block. Hands are going to come to the inner knees. I'm going to sit my hips back once again. Belly pulls in and up. I'm unhinging through my hips. And then I'm going to squeeze so that my inner thighs turn on. I'm going to press through the outer edges of my feet, screwing my feet into the ground as I squeeze my hands and push my hands away for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Amazing. Go ahead and stand up, straighten those legs. Reach those arms up. And bring those arms down by the side. That can get the heart rate going. We want to create that activity and that heat for that stabilizing through the hips and the knees. From here, start just by pressing through the ball of your right foot and picking up your right heel. Feel that stretch. Good. And then switch. Good. Come back to stand and just stand tall. Close the eyes. Take a breath. Feel both feet on the ground. Good. From here, just gently open the eyes. Getting strong through the legs, start to just lift the heels, balance. You can take your arms out to the side. And if you fall, I just want you to come back to the balls of the feet, lift the heels, squeeze the glutes, and then control, lower the heels. Again, lift the heels, try to find your balance, pausing at the top, feel that wobble, and then lower the heels. Good. Again, heels up, squeeze the glutes, and heels down. 2 more. Heels up and heels down. Good. Heels up. Now hover those heels right above the mat and see if you can just pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Coming back to your center, shake out those legs. Good. From here, I want you to shift your weight into your right foot. We're going to pull that left knee so that the knee and the hip are in line with each other. And then I'm going to energetically just draw this hip back ever so gently. Relax your left toes. Arms can come out to the side. I want you to just kind of tick-tock that foot forward and back. Try to stay loose through the kneecap and then start to draw some circles with that left big toe across the floor. And again, the arms are just out for balance. If you're okay here, you can just keep them passive at the side. But we're just drawing some circles and not using our hip to move, but using the knee. Do that again. If you're a skier or a snowboarder, this is a great exercise to do before or after. Just creating some energy and some space through the knee socket. Good. Release that and switch. So standing on that left foot, pull the right knee in, and then relax the toes. So here to here, we want to stay pretty parallel. But we're going to start to just move right from the knee. You can even bring your hand there to make sure that you're creating that mind-body connection. And just draw some circles. It doesn't have to look a certain way. We just want to feel this. And if you're not feeling this in the knee, we're probably using our leg or our hip to control the motion. So try to relax from the knee to the ankle. And again, we're just creating some movement here. Nothing fancy. Good. Release that. Come back to center. Good. From here, inhale, reach those arms up. Just bring your palms to touch. And exhale, just bring the arms down. Good. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale, bring those arms down. Good. 1 more time. Inhale. And from here, we're going to sit back into that seat, taking the feet apart once again. Bring the hands to the knees, and we'll find that second set. So push knees into hands and hands into knees. Belly pulls in, staying long through the spine for 7, 6. Really screw your feet into the mat. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the hands to the inner knee. Same thing. Squeeze and press for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Stand all the way up. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, bring the hands to heart. Good. Bring those arms down by the side. Lift the heels. And now from here, start to bend the knees as you bring your arms out in front of the shoulders, working on that stabilizing through the balls of the feet, through the knees, through the hips. This is tough, so take your time, be patient, and then drop the heels as you extend the arms down. Do that 2 more times. Lift the heels as you bend the knees. My hips pull back, arms out for balance, standing on the balls of the feet, and then lower the heels as you straighten the arms. 1 more time. This takes patience. This takes time. This is not easy. So be patient with the body. And then heels down as you reach those arms up. We'll fold over the legs. Good. Take that stretch. And then we reset to downward facing dog. Good. So pressing down into those palms. I want you to take your right leg up towards your right hip and then just bend the knee and step wide to a runner's lunge. So I rise up onto my finger pads here. We're going to create some movement. So I'm going to stay nice and light through my legs, staying nice and strong through my hands, step back to downward facing dog. Same thing, left side. So left heel lifts up and then step wide to that runner's lunge. Plant the foot, allow the hips to melt slightly. And then we step back to downward facing dog, creating that movement. Step that right foot forward, come into that runner's lunge. Pause. Step right back to downward facing dog. Good. Again, left side. Pause. Good. Step back, downward facing dog. One more, each side. Pause. Feel that stretch. Come back to center. To the left. Pause. Good. Come back to center. Taking it to the right, we hold here. Setting it up, turning the toes out, and then I kind of rock forward and back a little bit to just create some space through that left hip and into that right knee. From here, bring your back knee down, reach that right arm up, find a twist. Good. Bring the right hand, the palm to the right knee. Use that to encourage the right rib cage up to the sky. Keep leaning and pressing into that left arm. Good. Coming back to center. Pick up that back knee. Step back to your downward facing dog. Switch sides. Take that left foot forward. Bringing the toes to about 11 o'clock here. Keep pushing through that right hand and then start to shift forward and back. Pressing through that heel. Not too much movement. We don't want that left knee to go too far over the ankle, but just creating some space here. And then as you're ready, bring that back knee down and extend the left arm high. Make sure you're keeping that right glute strong, protecting the low back, protecting that right hip. Breathe. Keep pushing into that right hand. And then place the hand on the top of that left knee and just use that to encourage the twist. Using that hand on the knee for leverage. Keeping that right glute strong. And then as you're ready, plant those palms. Step back. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward, coming back to that runner's lunge. Back knee stays up. Reach the right arm up this time. And now we're going to start to reach forward and through that left arm. Good. So it feels a little awkward, but just check it out. Check in with the body. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, reach through that left side. Good. One more time. And reach through that right side. Good. Coming back up, bring the right hand down, bring your back knee down. And now keeping that right leg where it is, start to shift your hips back. As you shift your hips back, I'm going to spin my right toes out to the side. Good. Coming back to center, the toes point forward. So it's all about movement of those front toes. So shift the hip back towards that left heel, and then I spin my right toes out away from me, pushing the heel into the ground. Notice what you feel. Come back to center. And one more time, shift those hips as you rotate those right toes out. Come back to center, pick up that back knee, step back, and switch sides. Good. So back knee stays up. Inhale, that left arm goes up. And then we'll reach through that right arm. Keeping the left knee stacked over the ankle. Again, reach up and reach through. Good. One more time. Reach up and reach through. Good. This time, bringing that back knee down, bring the left hand down, shifting that right hip towards your right heel. Spin those left toes out as you extend. And use those hands to guide you to help. Good. Shifting forward, coming back to that runner's lunge shape. And then shifting back. As I shift back, I spin those toes away. Good. Two more. Finding that forward and back motion. And one more. Good. Spin those toes. And then pointing those toes forward, come back to your center, plant your palms, lift that back knee, and step back to your downward facing dog. Take a breath in. And let it go. Good. From here, step your feet towards your hands to the top of your space. Keeping the feet wide. Take a deep bend in your knees, taking your hips to your heels, and bring your butt to the mat. Scooting yourself back to the middle of your mat and taking a nice wide diamond pose here. So bringing the hands to the shins, use that to find some length through the spine, allowing the shoulders to relax down the back. And then start to use your forearms on your shins to pull forehead towards the toes. Good. Inhale, sit up. Press your feet into one another. And exhale, fold over the legs. Good. Inhale, coming back to center. Take your feet nice and wide and allow your knees to just fall to the middle. And you can start to tick-tock those knees in and out and just notice the difference in the hips. Rolling to the inner edge and pressing that knee down. Beautiful. And extending those heels one last time. Inhale, sit up tall. Reaching the arms overhead, and exhale, just find a nice forward fold here. Good. Inhale, sit up tall, and as you exhale, pulling yourself onto your back and pulling your knees into your chest. So releasing your feet to the ground, pull the belly in, press your low back into the ground, bring your arms down by your sides, start to lift the hips for bridge. So now imagine you're holding that yoga block in between the thighs and like we did when our hands were in between our knees. Activating the entire leg, activating through the pelvic floor, breathe, pressing into those shoulders and through the back of the head. And exhale, release. Good. 2 more times. Inhale, peel the hips up, pressing through the back of the head, the backs of the arms, squeeze the glutes, stand on your feet. And release. Good. This time, lifting up one final time for bridge. You can stay here, start to lift your heels, to lift the hips higher, stabilizing through the balls of the feet, creating a little more length and space. And exhale, release. Good. Pull both knees into your chest. And cactus the arms, dropping the knees to the right. Look over your left shoulder. Again, just sealing in our practice. Inhale, come back to center and rotate to the left. And inhale, come back to center. Wrapping your arms around your shins, bring your forehead to your knees. And just find one moment of stillness here. Allow yourself to just dissolve and surrender. Noticing the differences in your legs, your hips. Noticing the difference in the breath. And again, this is the time to just breathe. Allowing yourself to just feel the rise and fall of the belly. Letting go of any leftover tension in the face or the jaw. And then as you're ready, point the toes, reach the arms overhead. Pulling the knees back into your chest and rocking yourself up to a seat or rolling over onto one side to find your final shape. Sitting cross-legged or on the knees, bring the hands together in front of your heart, as always, honoring ourselves first and foremost for showing up, for taking the time, for carving out the space. Bow your chin to your chest. Give yourself that honor, give yourself that grace. And bringing the thumbs right between the brow, lift the gaze. And as always, this energy is yours to keep. Take it with you. Finding gratitude for whatever it is we're grateful for here. And bowing with that gratitude to this practice and to all things. Namaste. Great job, you guys. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.